Want to be sure that our students that couldn't make it tonight will be able to watch our videos. So welcome to ECE 113. Oh, there's Katrina too. Wonderful. I don't know if you guys have tried the different ways of viewing the recording of the lecture, but and I don't know if I brought this up before. I did in my other class, but there's two different ways that you can view the recording if you've missed it. You can either watch the Blackboard Collaborate version. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Katrina. I hate smelly computers. I know, especially when they're pokey. So there's two different ways you can view it. You can watch it through the Blackboard Collaborate, or you can watch the YouTube version. I have to say that I prefer the Blackboard Collaborate version. However, you have to watch that on a regular computer. But when you watch the YouTube version of our recording, you lose the video of the instructor, and you also don't get to see the chat box and the main room to see who all's there. So I think you kind of miss out on part of the lecture. So if you guys are ever in a spot where you have to decide between the two, I would pick the Blackboard Collaborate version. It's sort of my favorite. So here we are in ECE 113, Creative Art, Movement, and Expression. You guys have really lucked out that just started with our program, because we did language and literacy last month, and I love that class. It's so much fun. I love seeing the literacy kids. You guys did a great job. And then now we're hopping into Creative Art, Movement, and Expression. So I think you guys will enjoy this class as well. I received a great email from one of our graduates. In fact, I wasn't her instructor. She graduated, I believe, in May. But one of our ECE graduates was placed in her current position right after graduation. She worked there for 3 months, and they're now training her to be assistant director at her center. So I am so excited about that. I wanted to pass it along to you guys that is what you can get with your associates in occupational science and early childhood education. So if that's your goal, it's very much attainable. And I've also seen positions open for directors that require you to have your associates. So just put that in your back of your mind. Some of the announcements, much of this course will be the same as the previous courses. I like to keep that fairly consistent so that you're not having to relearn how the class works each time. So be sure and read over the syllabus and our course expectations on our course page. Also, and I know a lot of you have already done this, please do your initial post for our 2 discussion boards for this week. You'll notice one is just sort of a welcome board, and I like to do those from time to time so that we can get to know a little bit more about each other and kind of our backgrounds and why you're in ECE. So be sure and post to both before Wednesday at midnight, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday at midnight. You guys know from being in here that almost all of our other assignments are due Sunday by midnight. Something that I didn't add to tonight's lecture that I will add to next week is we'll talk about our final project. We, again in this class, do not have a final exam. You've got a final project. So it'll be something that you could start working on ahead of time if you wanted to. Also, I've got a few of you that have financial aid flags by your name when we go into our student list. So I wanted to bring up, if financial aid's trying to contact you, be sure and get in touch with them. They might have something you need to sign, or maybe they need another piece of paper from you, or they need you to reapply. So be sure and get back with them. A few more announcements. I know I have announced this, I think this 2 classes ago, But those of you that use Gmail, have you ever used Google Calendar? Could you like raise your hand if you've used Google Calendar? Nope. Stephanie, you have? Okay, great. Benita has? Okay, so at least 3 of us in here have. If you have Gmail, it's really worth it to take a moment and go into your Gmail account, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll notice this little box. Let me get my pointer. You'll notice this great little box here, and there's a, looks like this, looks like a little keypad. Oh, Katrina, you use it constantly? Okay, good. I do too. I literally use it every day. Stay-at-home mom and log in every day or so as you need to. Okay, great. Well, hey, I love it because you can keep track of your due dates, you can keep track of meetings, and you can set it up so that either the day before or the day of the meeting or the due date, it'll send you an email reminder as well. So it's a great way to keep track of what's going on. I have everything in mind. I have my work things, my family things, so that they're all in one place. And of course, since it's Gmail, it doesn't matter which computer I log on to, I can always access it. So if you haven't tried it out before, try out Google Calendar. There, I'll point at it. Where it says 31 there. You have to click on this thing first, then you get all these wonderful options. I know some of you use Google Drive, and some of you have used Google Pages and Google Slides for your assignments as well. Okay, next, what do we have? We're going to go over Chapter 2 tonight, just really quick. This is out of our Developmentally Appropriate Practices book, and you should have access to that book. Let me know if you're having any problems. Sarah, yeah, I believe I have. I haven't tried for this course, but I did okay with the last course. Oh, you use OpenOffice. Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes we can have issues with that, but most of the time it works pretty good. OpenOffice, Google Docs, and of course Microsoft Word tends to work great. One problem area is if you use a Mac, sometimes those don't open as well. We can have issues with those. And there's another one, Microsoft Works. Instead of Word with a K, that one doesn't pull up as well. So we're going to go over a little bit about Chapter 2. As I said, this is out of your DAP book, and I think you may have noticed if you've looked at week 1, there's also a few links to another book that's on creativity. I tried to pull up the PowerPoint to use in this course, and they've got it locked down somehow, so I wasn't able to use it and customize it as I normally do. So we're just going to glance at Chapter 2 and the importance of play. And oh gosh, the things that I've seen recently just keep pointing back to the importance of children and play, and how we may be pushing them a little too soon into worksheets and sitting for long periods of time. So let's talk about how important play is. Here we have a group of children playing, and they're outside getting some fresh air. And over here we've got a few little ones inside playing in what looks like dinosaur and sand pit. Who wouldn't want to play with dinosaurs in the sand? So what is play? First of all, it's fun. The children get to select what they're doing. They're not being told what to do. Therefore, it is intrinsically motivated. It can be spontaneous. You never know what they're going to bust out with. Non-literal, so it can be fantasy. It doesn't have to be reality-based. It can be symbolic. It actively engages the children, and it encourages intention on the means and not just on the end. So play is just play. Lots of times it doesn't matter how they play. They're not graded on it. So we really want to encourage that. Here's a few different categories of play: functional, symbolic, and games with rules. And a lot of times when we talk about play, you think non-scholastic, but actually they learn a lot from what they're doing. So some functional, sensory motor, and practice play would be blocks, puzzles, climbing, and yes, skating. That definitely involves some motor skills, and you definitely have to practice at it. Symbolic play, constructive or dramatic play, you might have paints, of course very creative, dress up, clay, or Legos, and all of these symbolic forms of play are very creative because you can do amazing things with Legos. I want to bring up a little Lego pet peeve. You've probably noticed that, especially if you have little boys, that the Legos are sold in kits now. So you might have a $20 kit to make one airplane, and it gives you all the pieces and it gives you the directions step by step on how to complete that kit. They are expensive, Sarah. They are very expensive. To me, it's not as creative because they're being told step by step. They have to follow the rules. And sometimes they're a little too complicated too. I prefer the big old bucket of Legos and no rules, just make what you want to make. And by no rules, I don't mean you can throw them. I mean they have to use their creativity and put them together and use a little trial and error because we learn a lot from that. So that's my Lego hang-up. A large kit may be $50, it may be $100, depending on what you're putting together. So we almost always have these type of areas, though, in preschool, in daycare, and early childhood. Then we've got some games with rules, such as kickball. Kickball